WIIFTBP and
WIIFTBP. Media's just for you and me. WIIFTBP. Media's just for you and me.
Kris the Critic Relationship Hour with Gina B. Why you are not married. Number one, you ain't all that. I know that's hard for y'all to swallow. I don't look as good as my 22-year-old self. People need to realize that. You just ain't all that. And I get it. I got this master's degree. I went to this school, that school. I worked hard for this job, for this house. And then she over there got that man. And you don't have one. Men are very simple creatures. So, ladies, for you very accomplished ladies, I got some advice for them.
What's that?
I always say it like this. You can write this one down. Be a kitten, not a cat. What does that mean, Kris?
What does that mean?
You ever played with a kitten? It's real friendly. It almost acts like a puppy. And you want to play with it. You want to come look at the little kitty. It just makes you feel good. Now, have you ever seen an adult cat? When it feels like it, it might rub against your leg and move away. But is that men like kittens?
Kittens will play with anybody. A cat is particular.
Listen, what did we learn? Men are very simple creatures.
Right.
You can fool us. We want you to laugh at our dumb jokes. So all you super smart women out there, you good-looking women, you see a guy you like, you guys do make it out on a date, he actually pays for the date. When you're actually with that person, the dialogue is happening, the dinner is happening, you say, okay, this might work, this might work. It would help if you act a little blind.
oh my God, Becky.
I mean, you're going to hear me say that a lot. Be nice to
So
him. You hit the worst joke ever, but if you sort of like them, laugh at it. There you go. Hey, it's a lot of married women out there. If we got any married women chiming in, if I'm telling a lie,
When it's a fake laugh.
let me know. Right.
What you're saying is that we should cater to the male ego, and that's what's ultimately going to get us married.
I'm first saying recognize that I think some of us, more women than men, look in the mirror. You ever seen a little lion look in the mirror and see somebody real big? They see somebody a little more fine than what they are. And I'm not calling anybody ugly, so I'm not here to bash anybody.
Let's look at Middle America, okay? Middle America is not attractive.
They're not?
Middle America is largely married.
Okay, I think we're on the same page there. People sort of, we get stuck to reality shows sometime and think we're supposed to have, I got a degree in a house, so I'm supposed to have Idris Elba or his twin.
Well, I mean, if you notice, okay, so you remember your friends from high school, right? And you remember how they had all of these qualifications for, if she's going to lock me down, she got to be this, that. She's got to have an ass like that.
That's all we really looked at. Stop right there. That's really what a man. Simple creatures. We want to be fed. We want you to laugh at us, give us some. And that's it. To get us.
Stars were born to fly. I've been searching, crowding, looking for a way out. I've been hurt, falling, but I think I found my way. Now I'm on my own, far from home, lost in space, in my zone. I found these truths far from you, in my space, in a stellar mood. Yeah, I finally got my mind right again. Did it all in spite of the hate. Every time they said that I can't. Nebula, they run through my veins. Every molecule in the trance. Senses feeling some kind of strange. Damn, I think my name's Spider-Man. Jump out the window and swing for the dreams that just might be. Never gonna let go. No, to the man in the mirror look like me. Drifting through the cosmos. Whoa, far away from your lies. I realign all my goals. That's a constellation of mine, yeah. I've been searching, crawling, looking for a way out. I've been hurting, falling, but I think I found my way now. I'm on my own, far from home, lost in space, in my zone.
Happy Wednesday, people.
Woo.
Welcome to the Kris the Critic Show. I'm Kris. This is Gina B.
We've missed you, Kris. I know you were here last week, but we missed you for some weeks. Can we talk about why we missed you?
People out here need some relationship advice. Briefly, we can mention.
Okay. So, Kris was gone for a few weeks, and because he's a baller, and he's got big baller things to do and meetings and stuff. But Kris was busy because he was crossing over to become a member of Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity.
The greatest fraternity in the world, baby.
We are so proud of him.
Yo, baby, yo, baby, yo.
That's right. That's right. I was hoping that he'd bring his cane and do some stepping in here tonight, but it won't happen.
I was very tempted to wear everything that they gave me.
I was hoping.
Bring canes, but I didn't want to drop them and tear up this nice studio, by the way.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the other members of the Divine Nine who've shown me a lot of love. I appreciate y'all. Everybody is has the same vision. Maybe wear different colors. But as my man Al Bryson, Alpha Phi Alpha says, we just drive a different color car.
Everyone's about it's at this point it's really all about like what you can give back, right?
It is.
You know, if you're still active in the fraternity, which it's great, then
and that's not even your thing.
It's not. I am not Greek, right? Like I'm me.
I'll tell y'all, even before this, way back when in undergrad,
yeah,
they all threw the best parties. Though. I'd be in all the parties.
Oh, I would go to the parties
until it got really late, and it was like them and their bros around, and you're like, okay, wait a minute. If it's too much alcohol, they'll eventually just start beating people up.
Right.
I don't want to be one of them.
Well,
see, this is I was always trying to holler. I was like this. That's not your girl, is it? Because it is. I was real courteous.
Messy. I never. Here's real talk. Like one of the reasons why I was never pursuing sorority
you
activity.
Sleeping with someone's man?
No.
Yeah, you can be honest.
Nope. But I was afraid that like people were like probably really too excited to whip my ass online. So because I always had a mouth.
Whoa. Hazing does not exist anymore.
Okay. Not anymore, but back when I would be
hazing is gone. There was no such thing
plenty
as
of hazing when I was in college.
No fraternity, no sorority ever hazes ever.
Yeah, no, that's some bullshit.
It's been outlawed.
Yeah, that's why certain chapters get suspended regularly because they are hazing.
All right, back to the show.
Back to the show. Anyway, so today is a fun topic. It's one of my favorite topics.
It is.
And it's about ambition, love, and money.
It does. So, good
and I have
segue.
A theory.
You sound so... I might let you introduce the topic all the time. It sounded a lot better.
Oh, well, if you think so, thank you. I don't do it very often.
As my beautiful, smarter co-host mentioned, today's show is on ambition, money, and relationships. Does it matter?
Doesn't matter. And let me just start with I'll start with because Kris and I discuss these topics and we kind of run them back and forth and we talk about things and we sort of decide on what we're going to choose. And one of the things that I like about this particular topic is that I feel that ambition is something that unless you're aligned as a couple on what you want to go after and how much money you feel you need and what kind of status you need in your household,
right,
there can be a very significant rift. Like there's some people like, I don't need all that. Like, why are you working, 16 hours a day? Like, we don't need to do that. Like, we're straight, right?
Right. Sorry, that's me and my phone.
I figured. See, it's not one of me and my two phones
right.
this time.
I'm going to see.
Hey,
I was looking
Tiger
at some
Lily.
comments.
But, there are couples that I have witnessed the demise of after they've been married for 15 plus years because one of them wants to continue the grind and the other's like, can we chill?
Yeah, that's true. But as I say it, ambition usually, and we talk about this before.
You feel like the end goal is money, right?
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
No, we're going to get to money. Ambition, that's what it's really about, right?
Ambition is a good thing if you think it is.
No husband or wife or girlfriend or boyfriend wants their person to just be ambitious and not have any results, right?
Right.
So it does become an issue, and they're both related to each other. You are 100% correct. They are both related, and early on, I'd like to think both couples are ambitious, okay? People grow apart. People, ideally, if the communication is correct, there's no, surprises.
Well,
but let's talk about because we talked about this subject, and trust me, people, I did a little bit of research. I looked this
Kris
up.
got a list.
Gina B shows up with nothing.
Hey,
Nathan, every show because she's just that good. I need notes.
Because I'm opinionated. That's the problem. Some people will say, yeah, she shows up with nothing because she got too much opinion.
I thought of this topic because there are a lot of very successful, and this is the What's in It for the Black People Network, so I'll speak from that perspective.
Right.
There are a lot of successful women. Shout out to black women.
Whoop.
Highest degree average amongst all groups of people.
Right.
Still fighting a good fight with the glass ceiling. But they are frequently find themselves in relationships with men who don't make the same. Doesn't mean they're a good man, but that's an issue.
Well, it can be an issue, but it depends on what the gap is, right? Like if she's making $300,000, he's making $24,000, and
I
he's
think
okay.
that matters not. But we'll get to that.
Yeah, we can get to that. Okay, we can get to that.
But in ambition, early on, I don't think anyone's upset because their husband or wife is ambitious, right?
No, people get upset. No. I've watched relationships die on the vine because of this.
And I want to hear about one. But if you're 40 years old and you're ambitious about your burgeoning rap career, and it just haven't jumped off yet,
okay,
bruh, you cannot expect her to support your dream.
All right, so we need a combination of ambition and realism.
That's what I was getting at.
We need realism.
That's what I was getting at. That's why they are related, ambition and money, but not the same.
No.
So give us the example. You had a friend, a guy.
I had a man friend who,
and I didn't understand this, but hey, he lived the life. It could have been something else. He left the person because of lack of ambition.
Well,
so tell us about that.
Because, so couple, been together a long time.
Right.
I was actually really surprised by this because they were a couple that they always seemed very into each other. But ultimately, what caused the divorce was that, and there was a divorce, right? So what caused the divorce was that he wanted to keep going after things. Like it was never enough for him. Like he was very ambitious and he continues to be very ambitious. And his wife was like, look, I'm tired of you always grinding. Like I'm tired of this being a thing all the time. When do we get to chill out? When do we get to have fun? He's in his 40s. And she's like, look, we have enough. We have what we need to have a good life. And he's like, I beg to differ. I don't think we do. And so when you have one person that's just like, hell no, and you have a person that's just like, no, I need to keep it moving, then where does that go? Right?
Now,
it's like a relationship with 2 wheels out of 4 that aren't moving.
Now, obviously, I don't know the ins and outs of their relationship, but based on just what you told me,
this is what he shared with me.
I wouldn't leave a woman over that.
Well, so I don't know who left who.
Right. Okay. And there we go. Right.
I don't know who left who. I really don't.
Hers, his, and the truth.
I mean, he just told me that they weren't together anymore, and it really had to do with a lot of ambition.
Now,
so
I got a few questions for you, and I'm going to read them off. And
okay.
Anyone who's listening, shout out to Neil Jackson. I see you out there.
Hey,
I see my man Troy Williams out there. He gave you a shout out.
Hey, Troy.
My man Jamal Matuka.
Hey, Jamal.
What's happening? I'll read if y'all see me looking
Blessings
at
to Maze, FYI.
Yeah, the CEO, emperor, owner of this studio had an unfortunate incident with some unscrupulous folks. We just wish him the best and Godspeed to him. He's fine.
He's fine. He's good.
Let me say that.
He's good.
All right.
But anyway.
Yeah, so that's that. So Jamal Matuka said,
the man
quit tripping,
left.
the man
I see
left.
it. I see Jamal.
Now,
I don't know, though, because, I mean, she could have gotten tired of him always wanting to work.
So here are the questions I want you all to think about
cool.
as we talk about it. And you all feel free to chime in. So, man or woman, does the amount of money or ambition even matter? When should it matter? You know? Does it affect other areas of the home? For instance, if he's not making as much, $300,000 or whatever it is. Does it affect who makes what decisions? Does it affect traditional gender roles? Does it affect sex life? Does it affect...
It affects sex life. Listen, I can tell you, I'm in a home where we're both grinding all the time, right?
I didn't ask you here about your sex life. If you want to share with folks.
I'm talking about work.
All right.
Work. Well, I can go deeper, but it's...
That's what I said.
So anyway,
please do.
Please do. I was gonna say that it does affect your quality time together a lot of the time, because both my fiance and I work all the time, and because we're working all the time, that limits the amount of chilling that we can do together. But you know what? It's okay for us because I work a lot. I like it. He works a lot. He really likes it. So it's not like a situation where he's working all the time. And I'm like, honey, when are we going to go see a movie? Honey, when are we going to go chill? Honey, what are we going to do? You know what I mean? It's not a situation where I'm like clamoring for time that he won't give me because he's working.
Right.
Because I'm like, well, if you working, then I can go and work too.
But isn't there something about him grinding that, not you, but if my wife sees me
talking about working right now.
If my wife sees me change the light bulb or do something that I wasn't asked to do,
you're getting some ass.
She's kind of getting excited. She doesn't like to be mentioned on there, but
Mrs. Critic will flip it.
If I want some, I'm watching.
No, you know what though? I'll tell you what. Like nothing is more exciting. Like my fiance likes to work, but he don't like to do housework. So if I see him like doing something housework related, it's like there's a good chance that he's getting lucky. Yeah. Very good chance. Because I'm like, that's a turn on.
We learned that
more often.
We learned that pretty easy. Yeah, that fellas, you want to get some.
You would think that he would do it more frequently.
Just randomly wash some clothes or do some dishes.
Right, like what? Wait, what?
You should see me around now. So I'm like, I just felt like letting you sleep in for a minute. Doesn't take much. So I asked them to think about those questions. A couple more. I want to know what women think about. Now, Gina B and her man are in a high net worth relationship.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, what do most women think about out earning? Mrs. Critic tuned in. Everyone pretend I didn't say anything I said in the last 5 minutes. What do most women think about out earning a man that they're with? And you can be honest about it. Circle of trust. Is it a problem? And what do most men think? Do you feel some kind of way if you don't? Now, granted, we're a little more cut from the old school cloth, right? But a lot of folks out here doing things a little differently today.
Well, you have to have realistic expectations about who you're with and what they're able to do. Like, for example, my fiance is an entrepreneur. He's a 100% entrepreneur, which means that he eats what he kills, and he is, he's got to be on his hustle all the time. I am about a 20% entrepreneur, right? Because I am 80% a corporate employee. So therefore, my income is more stable. I can count on it way more. And the 20% is like, gravy, basically. So my expectations are not that he, it's hard to match, like, if you've got a good corporate package, right? Like, so you just can't count on it. So you have to kind of understand who you're with and how they choose to make money. But your strive, like your ambition, your goals have got to be, like, if you're, okay, so let's put it this way.
Let me hear
if you sit together as a couple.
Okay.
And you're pointing at, like, my goal is to own that. And that in the picture is like, I want to own a bungalow and we can live a little, and that's perfectly fine. Like whatever you want to do is perfectly fine. Whatever that is. Bungalows are beautiful, whatever.
I'm listening to you.
But then I know what you're doing. You're trying to like give all the comments. I get it. I'm listening.
I don't want them to feel like we don't appreciate them being here.
I didn't complain.
But go ahead.
I know what you're doing. But then the other person's goal is that I want to own this 12-unit building and that I want to have income coming from 11 of the units. And it's a different life. It's a very different life. And so if one person is striving for that, the other person is striving for this, there's going to be a disconnect somewhere. And in a relationship, you at least have to be on the same path toward the same goals in order for things to be successful.
Hold on. I normally don't do this. Shout out to my friend.
Yes, you do.
She was. I escorted her way back when I was a young man.
Talking about Gigi Hinton?
On Links Cotillion, a good friend of mine. But I got to give you some good advice, Gigi. She said you got to be thirsty. Now,
thirsty.
I will say this, and we can talk about it offline because I know
I'm thirsty.
I'll be hit with a bunch of comments. If you throw away a good man because you're making a little more change than him, I'm looking at you saying, not as bright as I thought she was. That's all I'm gonna say about it.
Because it's not okay.
Y'all, you want to go? You want to go ahead for a minute? We can go. We got a few minutes for our first.
Yeah,
we can go.
Let's
ahead for
talk
a
about
minute.
this.
You disagree?
Because no, it isn't that I disagree, but it's that. Okay, we talked about this a little bit the other day,
right?
On one of our offline conversations. And so, if you meet a guy and he makes $50,000 a year, right?
We did talk about this.
Your hope is that in 10 years, he's not still making $50,000 a year.
I got it.
Because if he does, that means he effectively makes less money than he did when you guys met, right?
Okay. That's anybody.
Flat is
for any human. If they make the same 10 years from now, they make less than they did.
Right, exactly. Okay, so.
Okay, finish the question.
All I'm saying is that you have to have okay. So even if he makes less than you, whoever makes less, someone's going to make less than the other, right?
Let's stick with that example.
Okay. So if you're with the dude who is perfectly okay making the same amount of money for the next 30 years, and you are a person who's like, well, I make $100,000 a day, but in 10 years, I'm trying to make $500,000. You know what I mean?
Right.
So then your ambition is up here. He's like,
mean that.
I'm just cool with why wouldn't it mean that?
His dreams may be bigger, but it may be riskier. It may net more. At the end of the day, he can make more. He might not, but it doesn't mean his ambition is any less.
It might.
But I will say this. In the example you gave, right? The only difference between a person making $100,000 and a person making $50,000 is a few more trinkets, toys, clothes, and trips.
No.
If the man is taking care of himself, man is taking care of himself, when you met him,
he can take care of himself so much better.
Hold on, I listened.
Okay, go ahead. I'll listen.
I did not interrupt.
I'll listen.
And he's taking care of himself. He's got his own stuff. Didn't need you for Jack. You didn't need him. You all were perfectly fine. But somehow, the universe, you all cosmic forces, y'all met. You loved him. Y'all fell in love. And right at that moment, he was okay. And time goes by.
Right.
The same man you met. Now you want some more stuff. Now, I say, if the communication was right, if y'all were truly in each other, because if he was right then, he should be right now. As long as the bills ain't short or short, as people like to say. If the money's short, the lights out, then it's a problem. But if the lights are on and y'all eating fine, he just doesn't. But in every other way, shape, or form, the man is. Let's talk about what's important: loyal, trustworthy, honest, laying it down in bed.
Right, but here's the problem. Guy. He's the same guy, but the only thing is, you're only as strong as your weakest partner.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You are. You're only as strong as your weakest partner.
Where was that speech when you met him? When you laid down with him, where was that speech?
I mean, he could have.
He just laid it down?
He could have. No.
The magic stick?
He could have told you. No, he could have told you that he was as ambitious, but his actions have not proved out, is my point.
My point is, he didn't change.
Okay.
You did. Or whomever did.
No. If at the beginning of the relationship, you talk about your ambition, and what you want to do, and this is where I want to go. And he says, yeah, baby, this is my ambition. This is what I want to do. This is where I want to go.
Right.
And only one of you actually acts on that.
No, one of you actually makes it, just because sometimes maybe your dream was more easily attainable.
I mean,
maybe you had dreams of making $200,000, and for you to do that, you took a 30% risk, and he wanted a $2 million dream, but his risk level was 75%. Doesn't make him less ambitious because you made your goal.
Well, okay. Maybe he's ambitious, but not like effective. So that's another problem. Because I'm telling you, $50,000 today is not $50,000 10 years ago. $50,000 today is $35,000.
Well, why do you keep saying that? As if everybody's money is worth more. That goes for any salary.
Okay,
it doesn't differ.
But I'm saying that it's got to increase.
Hold on. This is how you sound. I make $75,000. You make $50,000. 10 years from now, your $50,000 will be less than what $50,000 is today. And he can say your $75,000 today is less than what $75,000 is tomorrow. That's not supporting anything. Oh, we got to take a short break. My producer, she's new. We're about to get on the air after that. We're going to mix it up a little more.
On the air.
I am going to specifically talk about scenarios because I brought some stats.
Because Kris got a list.
When we come back, of situations where it works and the only way to make it work. So we're going to be back in 2 minutes, and that's it.
2 seconds.
2 minutes. Tops. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
All right.
We'll be right back.
PM.
I love being black. Do you love being black? Yeah, I love being black. Hey. I do this for my people all across the globe. Hey, spring. The skin I'm in fit me fine, tailor-made, yeah, I'm comfortable. And so it seems I'm still chasing my dreams. They told me, watch my steps, they want to pull the rug from under you. This is transparency, my life 3D. You live every word that I utter, reporting live from the gutter. Where the mind's hard to change, but we don't give up on our brothers and sisters. Cause we all need one another. The time's getting closer, revolution, feel it coming. I can smell it in the air. Inhale it, let it embody you. Because chances are the cops pull you over, they body you. Plus we don't trust each other, so it's just another obstacle. Why jump hurdles to make a change? It ain't optional. Olympian mindset in this booth with my binoculars. I see my vision getting clear. Justice what a prophet do. My music touch the people's soul. Black power gospel tunes. So many styles, watch me kick them like they soccer moves. Falling rank and file, this is my platoon. Soldiers at attention, ain't no Willie lynching. This the program. Who they think they kidding? Reinvent the system. Total reconstruction of our mental stigma. This ain't a game, boy. Still they think I'm talking about Nintendo's. That's a shame, boy. Augment reality. Better fix your brain, boy. I love my people, hope they love me black. I'm going hard and ain't no holding back. Watch me react, I put my fist up in the skies. Like the beacon for believers that one day we return to our greatest if we seek it. All the glory we can obtain and keep reaching. I'm painting this picture, I hope you see it. Guess what the theme is? I love being black. We turning up. I love being black. Say it loud, man. I love being black. One more time. I love being black. Well, how about you to sing these tunes too? Customize for you a little something you can grow to. Feeling good about yourself. Melanated mood muse. Always service humble pie. We don't care about who's who. Light brown or dark skin. This right here's for you too. We are the gods of the earth. Living proof truth. Say it loud if you black and proud. I salute you and that's a fact. Where you at? Let me hear you say it back. I love being black. We turning up. I love being black. Say it loud. Man, I love being black. One more time. I love being black. Super melanation renovation of our databases. Gotta fix the trinity to make it past the matrix. There's a rabbit in the hole. No decision, you gon' chase it or just shove it for complacency. Here's your motivation. Black power in your veins. Up to us to build a nation. European mental detox completely we erase it. You can't keep writing over old information. Right, bring it right back. If you love being black, I love being black. We turning up. I love being black. Say it loud, man. I love being black. One more time. I love being black. I do this for my people all across the map. Easy for the ones who don't identify with being black. Hebrews the best elixir. Go ahead and try your best. It's truth serum, my loose spirits. The ancestors Murder, keep sleeping and I shoot up the server. Corrupted servers after 5 minutes, time to purge 'em. We waking up and that's what got 'em nervous. I love being black. We turning up.
Welcome back to the Kris the Critic Show.
We back.
With Gina B. Today's topic, ambition, money, and relationships. How important are they? Does it matter if she makes more? So we were going back and forth doing some, verbal jostling in position. But I'm going to throw some stats out here, and then we're going to get into some more meat of the matter. It does matter, right?
Right.
Because divorces are 33% higher. And this is from a Harvard study, 2016, Money, Work, and Marital Relationships. Let's go to the extreme. When the husband is not working, let me qualify that.
Okay.
Divorce is 33% higher.
Okay.
So for whatever reason, and we know half of it is maybe the guy doesn't feel as whole as he should. Maybe the woman recognizes some of her, she wants to wield some of the decision-making that men have done in the past who've earned more.
Right.
And it is a difference. In 1960, this is from Ameritrade survey, only 3.8%, I'm not talking black, white, or other, of all women, in 1960, only 3.8% of women made more than their spouses.
Well, of course.
I'm just saying. Now,
in 1960, it's like,
but now,
were we even citizens at that point?
But I'm just talking about white women, black women, Asian women.
I don't care what woman. If you had a vagina, were you even anyway?
Yes, you were.
You were like 7/10 of a person. Go ahead.
See how she just conflates.
I know he's going to try to call me feminazi. Go ahead, bro.
You are. Don't join the feminazi.
In 1960, come on now.
Feminazi is an evil group.
This is before they even burned bras for women's
I'm not
rights.
scared of the feminazi.
You shouldn't be.
I'm not scared of them. I'm not scared of the alphabet people. Although I will not say anything about them loud because they'll cut off Kris the Critic next week.
No, they won't.
But now, depending on what survey you look at, between 28 and 50%, depending on race or whatever, of women are the breadwinners in the household.
Well,
now
there are reasons for that.
Every man is not cut from the comfortable cloth
They're not.
that I am. And I've made a lot of money in my life. But I will start first. I've made more cash early on.
Okay.
But Mrs. Critic is doing okay now.
Yeah.
Not since she wasn't. But I'm applauding that.
Right.
I don't care if she went on to have Oprah money. I'd be getting coffee and
making sure she's all hooked up.
Utilizing my special talents that I have.
Your particular set of skills.
I would use my particular skills. I was like, babe, you need some more. But there are a lot of men, and I think it's insecure men. Maybe men who aren't secure in what they're doing. Maybe men who have never had their own.
Right.
Have never purchased a home on their own or purchased cars on their own. And now you got a woman and she's doing it and you feel some sort of way. Right? You know those men.
I do know those men.
Those are the ones that say, yeah,
I'm not
she
with
got
one,
a lot of
but
money.
I do.
She thinks she can do all that. She got a lot of money. I'm not man bashing, fellas. I'm trying to help you grow. I'm trying to help you grow, dog. But you also have women who feel, well, I can do it. If man do it, I can do it. No, you still got to act like a woman. You ain't got to do nothing.
That's a whole different show topic.
But I'm just saying, if you want to reel it in.
No, gender roles are that's a different topic.
I don't even like using the word gender.
We are talking.
It's men and women.
Okay.
I don't even use the word gender.
Non-binary people.
I don't even. What is all that? Men and women. Shit.
Okay. Point being, bottom line. Okay, so for this particular conversation that we're having,
all right,
we are talking about
I'm gonna look at some comments.
Matching ambitions.
All right.
Whether it's important or not. That's the thesis for this show.
The ambition is code word for how successful someone is or isn't.
Well, it is code word for what's your drive and what do you aspire to.
So your drive. So you'd be okay with a drive that's at 100. But it just haven't, after 15 years, it just haven't manifested itself.
Well, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't what?
Be okay with that.
That's what I'm saying. It's cold because it hasn't worked.
Well, it's got to be ambition with some realism, right? Like you can't decide that all of a sudden, I'm 53 and I want to be a rapper. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, it's just, you've got to have some realism in in your abilities, right? Like you've got to be good at something. You know what I mean?
So would you say, let's go back to 1960. Let's go back to 1960.
Okay, let's go back to 1960.
The woman who's a housewife.
The woman who has no skills.
That's not what I didn't say she didn't have. I said she's a housewife.
She generally doesn't in 1960. I'm just saying.
Housewives of America. I don't subscribe to that.
Not housewives right now, but housewives in 1960, they were not encouraged to have skills. They were not encouraged to go to school.
Let me ask a question before you stop disrespecting the housewives of 1960.
Okay, yeah.
Do you think that they played a lesser role in that family unit?
No.
You don't. But they didn't make anything.
Role, but they didn't make. But the problem, here is the problem.
But do you think they played a lesser role?
No, but here's the problem.
Go ahead.
There are caveats. Okay, so the problem, and the thing is, I had a mother who, you know, while she and my father were together until she died, she had friends.
Right.
Who.
What's up, B Nitty? Go ahead.
Did not have skills. My mother was an accountant, to be clear. Okay, so she had skills, right? And she applied those skills to the family until she decided to go back to work, and then she was an accountant and she was successful. Okay, fine. After I was like, you know, old. But she had friends who got their MRS degrees, right? So they got married.
Right.
And then when the husbands were tricking off or whatever they were doing and they got divorced, they were ass out. And so they were just like, I don't know how I'm going to make any money. And I don't have any developed skills for this.
Well, you're talking about a marriage that had problems. If the man is dipping off, the marriage has. I mean, she married the wrong guy.
Any marriage could have problems. There's a 50% divorce rate, and that's just divorce. That's not the people who just want to be divorced.
But I want to know how much of it was caused. It's not caused by ambition. It could.
I'm
be
not
caused
saying
by
that
lack
it's.
of money.
But I'm explaining to you where this evolved from. Right. Okay. So that generation of women who in the 60s, 70s, they were like, look, my child's not going to do this. Like, my daughter is not going to be the person who is left like ass out if her dude leaves her and she has no skills.
Right.
So that's why the pendulum has swung really hard in the opposite direction, because women like us, myself, my friends, who are ambitious, educated, etc., we were taught by women who were like, don't be like me. Like, be...
Partially correct.
Yeah. Partially?
Yeah. Well, I say a lot of those women...
85%.
A lot of those women stayed if they had children. Because maybe they wanted their son to be around a man and not be brought up by a woman.
I'm not saying they didn't. They didn't want their son to be around a man.
But
they were ass out.
I understand. But the women who are there recognize that there's some value. Today's society is selfish, men and women. Right? They think that they have... I don't understand how many men or women have all of these children and say, well, you know what? I ain't got to be with their daddy or mama. Fuck it. That's some selfish shit. People are just more selfish than they are
selfish, now. But like, okay, so let's take...
We're gravitating away a little bit from
Let's take the least selfish thing. Let's take the least selfish thing. What if you're the woman in that situation and you're relying on the man? You about to name
some really bad thing that happens to her?
Well, no, him.
Okay.
Maybe like he gets hit by a truck or something and he can't work anymore.
Right.
And so then what?
She should leave him.
No, my point is
that what are you saying?
The whole family is ass out. So that even more drives her to say, my daughters need to be equipped.
I get you. And there's nothing wrong with that.
You have three daughters. And they're the most you are equipped. Teaching them.
They're Jedi Knight. Because
look, Mariah's got about 5 things she can do to make money.
They have a Jedi Knight retired player as a daddy.
But you've also instilled in them.
They smart.
Yes.
Well, I mean, you know.
But otherwise, you'd be raising them to be wives. Like, that's it. Here.
All right, as you always bait me into, we're not on the subject. We have a new producer.
Hi, Shanice.
Female. Shout out to the Feminati. Shanice, say hi to everybody.
We don't know if Shanice is Feminati or not.
She's not Feminati. That's me.
How do you know?
We don't know. She don't know how to work the board.
She doesn't work.
Nobody can hear you, Shanice.
You can't hear me.
Oh yeah.
Now we can hear you.
So I got a question for you, because I see your head in there going back and forth. And don't just say that because I'm sitting here. Do you think, because you're probably slightly younger than I am, and I'm a little old school. She's a lot younger than I am. Do you think that ambition and money as a person your age, should be a main decision-making factor if you're already in a relationship, or even going in a relationship with a guy? Well, don't lead her. Don't lead her.
Absolutely.
I like you. That's how I tell my daughters. It should be. Now, I say the first thing one should look at from a woman's standpoint, and I'm a guy, so I could be wrong. How does he treat you? Is he good to you?
Okay,
is he
that's
honest?
table stakes.
All right, if he's
that's
loyal.
Table stakes.
Let's say he passed all
you
of that.
should not be with a man who doesn't treat you well. Okay, let's start with that.
Choose a man.
But my point being is that should be like a general part of the foundation.
I agree.
A man who's with you should treat you well.
I agree. But if you choose him, and 2 years later you're unhappy, but he hasn't gone backwards, I say shame on you.
Well, okay.
Oh, y'all don't want to acknowledge that.
No. I'm not saying that plenty of women make bad decisions and maybe they have misread or they have.
Women don't make mistakes.
They've made mistakes. Maybe they've chosen incorrectly. So many women, their picker is off, right? Their picker is completely off. But I'll tell you what.
I will defend men if you bash men.
I'm not going to bash men. But what I'm saying,
yes, you did.
So when I meet,
because I'll say there are no men out here who looking for a woman. We know how to find one. Oh, church. Okay. I don't meet a lot of men saying I can't. I'm just saying, if you jump at us, I'm going to be equal fair now.
Okay, I'll just say, when I met the person who I am going to marry at some point, I don't know when, sometime soon, but
allegedly. You keep acting like this, you won't make. No, I was playing. Go ahead.
No, I mean, he will agree with this comment. So when I met him, I was really clear. I was like, look, here's the deal. I need to be attached to a person who has exceptional credit. I need to be attached to a person because I need to be able to make moves, right? Credit just allows you, and there's not a lot of education about credit. No, it's ambition. Ambition is tied into all of this. It's all the same shit, right? So it's like if you are ambitious, you have to kind of keep your foundation straight, and part of your foundation is credit, and part of your foundation is debt. And part of your foundation is like making sure that your paperwork, taxes, etc., is all there.
I know some guys going on 50 still ambitious as hell to their rap careers. They save money to go to the studio.
And those would not be people that I would date.
But they're ambitious.
I'm just saying.
They're ambitious.
So we're clear.
But they're ambitious.
Okay, so they can
be
ambitious. But.
You got some supporters. Catherine Bowman, who is a follower of the show. Shout out. Hey, Kathy.
Jamal, Negro,
she agrees with I love Jamal. Jamal and I, listen.
Tell Jamal.
Jamal and I agree on about 85, 90+% of everything in life. We got a few things we waver on, but he's like me. Every now and then he'll go back and say, and like I do to him, I was wrong. You were right. We're going to have him on the show next week. I don't even know what we're talking about. Jamal might be on the show.
Bring your ass in the
If he
studio.
want to be on the show, he's going to be on the show.
Jamal, come on in.
He's going to be on his Zoom in person. Jamal Matu's going to be on the show.
Listen, I'm down with it.
Because you know why?
But he can't accuse me of bashing men.
No, honestly,
that's not what's going on right now.
No, believe it or not, he is probably one of the most partial to men and women I've ever seen.
But, okay,
it is my natural tendency to defend man and yours to defend. He's right in the middle.
Okay, so that's cool with Jamal. Let's get back to the topic, though. But what I'm saying, though, is that once again, you're only as strong as your weakest partner.
But you chose that person.
If you are a partnership, okay, let's talk about that. If you're a partnership, and one part of the partnership, he's got a 400 credit score, he is in $70,000 in debt, he hasn't paid his taxes in 4 years.
Right.
You see where we're going with this?
But why would you get with him in the first place?
Well, no, you shouldn't, is my point.
Right.
You should not.
I agree.
So
we agree 1,000% on
that. Right? And so, but when my fiance and I started dating, I was like, look, this is what's not going to happen. Not that he was in that position. Let
me cut to the chase.
But
45
ambition
seconds.
is key.
Shanice, you're going to answer first, since you agreed with Gina B. Let me get right. All right. Taking the gloves off. Here it is.
What you got, sir?
Here it is. You meet, who's your favorite male actor? Idris Elba, Boris Kojo, or somebody younger? Who do you like?
Boris.
Michael B. Jordan. Who do you like? You don't like them? Who you like?
Turn the mic on.
Yo, we got to hear you. Jesus Christ. That many? Is it
She's
a guy?
like,
Is it a guy?
Is
it a guy? We can't hear you.
I like Quavo.
Who? We can't hear you.
Now we're hearing ourselves twice.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a little ashamed to say.
You are?
Yeah.
You were ashamed?
It's Kevin Gates.
He's not my favorite guy.
He's intelligent, though.
All right, so let's say Kevin Gates, right? So long story short, you meet Mr. Right, right? And
who looks like Kevin Gates?
And I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna throw in the money. Y'all, both of y'all ambitious, right? You make $275,000 a year, right?
Yes.
You're like a vice president at some bank or something, right? He makes $85,000 a year, right? So you make $190,000 more than him. Now, when you met him, the man was a homeowner, a condo owner, right? He dressed nice. He drove his own car. He was very self-sufficient. On your first few dates, DJ Shanice is listening intently. You can't give advice right now. She's
DJ trying.
mentored.
He should just be focusing on We Code Wednesday, which will come on later.
Are you listening? So you make $175,000. He makes
$85,000,
but he has his own stuff. He has his own condo, his own car, takes care of himself. When y'all met, right? Took you out to eat, was a gentleman. Sex was off the chain, right? Okay? Everything's perfect. The man is loyal, honest, all of this stuff, right? You say, well, man, I'm trying to make it work. Now, together, you all have enough money, okay? The man makes you happy. You've been dating a bunch of losers for a long time. You've been sleeping with dudes and they ain't done nothing for you. You've been having all these lonely nights, and you meet this guy that checks every box you got. But you make $190,000 more. Now, are you going to let happiness stand in the way of that? Yes or no? I just want to know.
That's hard. I would.
The answer is unequivocally, you're not going to, that shit shouldn't matter. I almost want to throw this water on the wall.
Wait, I'm
this
sorry.
is why people,
you
a lot of people,
she said
are alone.
Yes, that would stand in the way.
Why?
You asked her.
I have
Why?
to consider a prenup. I have to consider a prenup.
Everyone should have a prenup.
If things go down.
Every single person should have a prenup.
I recently left a dealership where this Polish man gave me advice. He said, you're going to make a lot of money now. So now you have to find someone richer than you. And I think that's
a dumbass old Polish man.
You lived a lot of years. No, but
a lot of women out here, I'm going to tell you this because you're young, they die with money in a vibrator. Alone, sad, no kids, nothing to show for it. Because you know what? She said, damn it, I wanted him to pay for the most dinners. Don't die like that.
No, but
I'd pray really hard before making a decision.
The Lord gives you a mind to make good decisions. He don't make them for you.
Yeah, well, how you know?
He don't drop men out the sky. He gave you the ability to choose and discern. Y'all expecting too much from the Lord. He got a lot of people to look after.
Oh, Lord, you're so funny.
Now, come on now.
Everyone thinks they have their own personal Lord. But anyway, so point being,
hold on, you're not going to blaspheme.
I'm not blaspheming.
Lord, she did not mean that. I roll with it, but I'm Catholic.
Today. Okay, but the point is, so you're making this about something a little different.
No, I didn't.
No, you're making it about a man who makes less money. I'm talking about ambition. Talking about ambition.
You already said you don't care how ambitious he is. If he ain't got no money, you don't want to be there.
I didn't say that.
What about the 50-year-old guy who's still going to the studio, taking money out of every check for the last 20 years for his rap career?
Because he's an idiot.
Why? He's ambitious.
I can't get with idiots. So we got a primary problem right there. Like, you haven't spit one lyric until you were 49, and at 50 you think you're gonna be right. That you're a moron. So therefore, no, I can't get with you.
Hold on,
stupid.
We got to tell Khalid Hankins. I'm sorry if Mrs. Critic is listening. Someone left a fold-up table at our front door. Go grab it. Khalid Hankins. I'm not gonna get caught up with the femininity. He's saying women have cognitive issues in that example.
Cognitive issues.
I'd be interested. I just went on a small.
The hustle is real. Okay, so
I went on a small little rant. I'd like to see what Catherine Bowman says.
Let me back up on a couple of comments because someone said, and I'm trying to think. I think it's Boosie. I'm trying to see who said this. That when she met her husband. Yes, here we go. Her husband was a credit mess when she met him, which is fine. With her, he now owns his second business. It's all potential and bringing out the best. So basically,
that's why
he had the hustle. No, but there's nothing wrong with that.
But she didn't leave him.
No. I'm not saying you should leave someone. But if you together can inspire each other to have the hustle that you need to get things that you can collectively go after, I'm all about that. Because everyone's not, when you meet people, they're not always where you need them to be.
You just don't want to be short in the relationship. If it's enough money in that 2 people pot, if everything else works, y'all got enough money. Because if I'm the CEO and I see young Halle Berry pushing her janitorial cart at 6:30 p.m. because I work late, and she's fine as all hell.
Because that's not your pain point.
And she can cook.
It's not your pain point.
She can cook. She's laying it down. She can make.
Because that's what's valuable to you.
That's
that she
all.
can cook, lay it down, and be
Whatever
fine.
I value,
That's it. You're not worried about her
I'm
profession.
not going to let money
you don't
stand
care
in the way.
because that is not the
Women
pain
don't
point.
care about professions either.
Yes, women care.
Let a really nice looking guy. That's why a lot of women out here got babies with no baby, with no husband, with no rings, because they don't really value that.
And they need birth control with the wrong Negroes. But anyway,
they laying down with a dude who ain't shit, but he look good.
Well, okay.
That don't happen.
It happens all day.
That's all I'm saying. So don't tell me
like,
what they value. I know what they value.
But I'm talking about what you're talking about in terms of the Halle Berry. That
Hold on, femininity. I'm sorry if I sounded hard on that.
Lord,
I don't want the femininity
cannot take him
coming at me. They real.
Will she make the plate? That's what Jamal wants now. That's all he
She
cares
can
about.
cook and she
Can
laying
make
it down.
The plate?
And you ain't
Can
never
she
met. Hey,
make the
Jamal,
plate?
preach. Have you ever seen a woman married 50 years who couldn't cook? They don't exist. I ain't saying they get you the man, but if you want to keep one, you better learn how to make a dish too.
Don't tell me this. I cook.
I'm just allegedly.
Psst, ask my fiance.
I'll talk to him 2 years into the marriage. When's the date?
I don't know.
Seal the deal.
It's not. I mean, I'm the one that.
Oh yeah,
to set the
everybody
date.
says that. It's on me. It's on me. I got 50 rings. I got rings everywhere.
Do you see the ring?
I did. It's a
see the
baller ring because he's a baller.
But you see the ring, right?
You doing something right. Keep it up.
That's what I'm talking about.
Don't be talking
So,
garbage. He'll
anyway.
look at this show. He'll trade you. He'll trade you in.
Well,
Um,
it would be a very painful activity for him to try to do that.
you know what?
So,
See, I can't. Y'all just get whatever.
but okay,
I like Boosie.
To close-
I love Boosie.
we've got a few minutes to close this topic.
Boosie late.
Boosie is dope.
I
We like
love
Boosie.
her husband. If I ever see y'all, I sell wine and spirits. Y'all got a free bottle coming because she's with a good man. And if it's enough money now, if you with a guy, right, and y'all the bill's always short, you can't. That ain't the right dude. But if there's like extra money, that's like saying Oprah, hey, Oprah, get rid of anybody you date unless they make $7 billion a year. What the fuck? How much money you need? If the bills are being paid, is he treating you right? Do you feel good when you with him? Do your family like him? Do you love being around your kids? He's a
But
good
see,
daddy.
here's the problem.
Where does that come
Everyone
in?
has a different standard over what's enough for them. And so my whole point here is that it needs to be even. Like everyone's got to have the same view as to what their life should look like. And that will be what kind of keeps them together and keeps them moving forward is my point. But if someone's like, I just want to have some extra chicken, and the other person's like, I want to own 3 buildings, those are not aligned.
That's some dumb
ambitions.
shit to be happy about. You want somebody who you could trust, who when you sick, they gonna be there.
Yeah, but that's all.
Everybody looking past
I'm not
all the
saying
basics.
that. No. That's not what we're talking about today. Today, we were talking about ambition.
I can't stand you sometimes. I don't even know why you on this show. I was just playing.
You're the one that asked me to be on this show.
I did.
Mama.
I love that
Okay.
you're here.
Anyway, so my point being, like, you didn't want a feisty co-host. He could have chosen any co-host he wanted, but he chose me.
Boosie Lace said her granddad, I got to tell you this. She said, if you're Southern, it's taught at birth. My granddaddy didn't want his chicken touching his corn. I'm just like that. I don't like certain foods touching. And you know what? That was important to her granddaddy,
Little
for her
boy.
grandmama acquiesced. You've never met anybody who's been married 50 years and out of their mouth comes, he was so ambitious, or he has a lot of money.
That's not
They
true.
will say, he's so good to me, and I laugh.
He was good to me, but part of the whole
when I met
thing-
him, I felt like this, or vice versa.
I think it's unspoken. I think it's unspoken because I feel like people, I would personally not be happy without an ambitious man.
I think everyone should be ambitious.
Because it's smart. Because here's the thing.
But you-
it makes
I think
me
you would-
better.
you might trade-
It makes me a better. Like it brings out the thing in me.
Ambition is a good thing.
I'm very ambitious.
But what if
And
he's
so-
ambition and didn't necessarily get to... ambition is like...
Now, once
if you go to
again,
science,
being good to you is table stakes.
potential energy.
Right. Like, so you shouldn't
getting the money is kinetic energy. I could be ambitious as hell and never be successful.
But you should not sacrifice the primary thing, which is that they should be good to you. They should respect you. You should have a good relationship. Now let's layer on that. Let's layer on top of that.
Right. And I'm saying that takes a backseat to trust, loyalty, honesty, and results. I would understand more if you said, I just want a man who's going to make some money. But ambitious doesn't get you there. I could be ambitious all I want and still be a failure.
But you've got to be ambitious and effective.
So there
right?
you go again. It's not just ambition. That's
right.
Well,
we're back to the 50-year-old rapper. Like ambitious, yeah, you know, baby, I'm gonna spit.
Denise, how much time we got?
None. Okay.
We getting a sign. You can wrap up, Gina.
She's like,
I'll give some final
get
thoughts.
up out of here.
Oh wait. Can I throw out some stats?
Feel free. Chris got a list, so just go ahead. Chris, you wrap it. Warm it up, Chris.
I do a little research for these shows.
Warm it up, Chris.
Cosmo. Not
Cosmo, the most erudite publication.
I do a relationship show for the last couple of years, so maybe I may look at what some women think in some women magazines. 7 women sounded off. These women that make more than their men. And I'll read you the results.
Please.
Here's a woman who made $100,000 more than her husband. And early on, they would quarrel because she always wanted to go out to eat dinner. You know, fast food. At restaurants, right? Mm-hmm. And sometimes it would cause an issue. But however, they talked about it. It wasn't, he did feel some sort of way because, he felt it was a waste of money based on what he made. But long story short, they made a compromise and came up, let's just predetermine when we go out to eat. It wasn't that she made 100 more or he was less ambitious. He felt some kind of way about it. But my point is they talked about it and they came to a mutually agreed upon area. She didn't say she needed something else about the relationship. And the other 6 stories I had are very similar. A couple moved in. She knew what he made in this situation. But the rent that they paid, he couldn't pay 50% of that. It was no way, shape, or form.
Okay.
However, she said she had more than enough.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have any kids at the time. So they talked about it. It worked. And I could go on and on about these examples. The bottom line is they communicated about it, and it wasn't for lack of ambition. It was the results that the women were interested in. They were acknowledged they were worried about how much money he made, period. But if you discuss it, and if it works for both of you all, and they're otherwise a good person, man or woman, I say you go for it.
Those are table stakes.
You know what? We got to get out of here. I think Brian Foster's next. We are over time. Gina B, thank you for joining me. I can see this being another topic in the future.
I think we're
thank you for joining in. Everybody, leave any final comments. I check them later. I get back to them. I love you all. Glad to be back. Kris the Critic, Gina B, we out of here.
Peace.